You poor fool. You weren't able to run far enough.
Welcome back to the channel. So today we continue our journey into Lordran. So in our last episode we have gotten our Murokuma. Now we are just going to go and see Andre and upgrade it to +5. If you remember in the episode before, that is why I acquired the 9 Titanite shards, because that is how much it takes to upgrade a weapon to +5. Just going to take this guy out. And we got purple moss clump. So the other guy is just up ahead. As you can see where the blood stain is. You know, someone died there. Take him out. Then the other one around the corner just here. Take him out. Sometimes you have to be careful fighting him here, because I fell off of this cliff many times. Another purple moss clump. And continuing on. Okay. So these guys are quite easy now. Don't give you much problems once you have upgraded your weapon. And there we go. Take him out. Now I did not kill the demon type, Titanite demon, sorry, in here, so he is still there. But for now, we're just gonna run past him. Okay, and we're gonna just head straight up. It's not too hard. So we'll take him out once we've upgraded our weapon. There's Andre plowing away. Doing his smithing. Okay, so I'm just going to rest at this bonfire so that if I die, I don't start all the way back down in the garden. Okay, so let's see, I need to repair my weapon, which is what I recommend every time you get to a bonfire. That's the first thing, if you remember to do it. Get your weapon repaired, because the weapons do have durability. At least weapon durability in this is not as bad as in Dark Souls 2. But that's another story for another time. So, just going to upgrade now with Andre to +5.
You seem to be doing all right. Need anything forged?
Yes, sir. Can I have my Murokuma upgraded, please? See, the damage is going up, the AR rating is going up for every time we upgrade. Okay, so at this stage we can only go to +5. If we have to go beyond that, that is where we will need to get the embers so that we can do the ascension.
Neither of us want to see you go hollow.
Yep, neither of us want to see you go hollow. Yep. True words. But we will go hollow from time to time. It is to be expected. After all, this is Dark Souls. Okay, let me just have a look at the weapon. For those who want to view the stats, you can just pause the screen and have a look. That's what the weapon looks like. Yeah, it's a very solid weapon. So, yeah, as you can see, the AR rating in blue has gone up, and what's in blue has increased. So there's the param scaling and everything else. So you can pause the screen and have a look if you want. If you want more detail, it's there to view. Just pause the video where you want it and you can see the details. So you can block with this weapon as well. Most heavy weapons, I think, is quite useful because there is a certain amount of damage reduction on them, a percentage. If you see on your right hand side there where it says damage reduction, and you can see physical, that's where your percentage is. So you know how much, it reduces the damage that you are taking, okay, by what percent. And sometimes it's good, it's just the same amount as a small shield, which is, it's not a big deal. So yeah, that's the weapon. So I'm going to try out some of these swings. Yeah, so that's your two-handed R1 and so on. So that's your one-handed. Yeah, that's the running R1, which is a slash. So this is a slash weapon, so it will do mostly slashes. The slashes are good if you have a whole group of enemies together in a line in front of you. It's quite handy to have. But overall, I like the reach on this weapon anyway. It's quite good. You don't have to be too close to get a decent hit in. That's your rolling R1. As you can see, I'm a bit still heavy. Rolling R1 again. That's the running jump in R1. And that is the R2. So now we've got the two-handed roll into the R1. And that's the vertical R2. The R1 again. They have very similar moves. It's not too difficult to work out. That's the vertical attack. So I quite like the vertical attack when we're doing one-on-one. Yeah. See, it comes in handy when you're dealing with just one enemy, and maybe you don't want to swing. So overall, yeah. Not a bad weapon, as I said. Most weapons are alright, it's just, it depends on the hand of the user who's using it. So a lot of people, the thing I like to say to tell new players is, look, play around with a few weapons, see what suits your sort of play style and what you like. Most people just search up for best weapon, and there is no really best weapon. At the end of the day, a weapon is only as good as the user. Okay, so now... Right, so we're going to try this guy down here now. And you will see the difference with an upgraded weapon. How much difference it can make. So what I like to do with him is toy around, get him to do that. Yeah, you get him to do his first jump. So that arm that is on the floor, make sure and stick close to that arm. As you can see, get caught on the stone. You can get caught in the environment too at times. So can you. Now if you move behind him too much, it's going to force him to do that attack, and as you can see, got some damage there. Okay, so we keep that arm. keep hammering away. There we go. Move back and heal. Because if he hits me again, he's just going to kill me. So that long range attack, you can just avoid that. It's just, the thing with all enemies in Dark Souls, I think, a lot of people don't pay attention to the enemies' attacks. Especially when fighting bosses. They rush in and they try to whittle them down as quickly. But if you pay attention, you can watch the moveset and you know what moves most moves are predictable and you can read it if you know what you're looking at. There's the vertical, you see, 2 hits and he's done for. Purple moss. So I didn't show it all the way coming down. It's boring. Right, so I came down to the bottom here and rest at this bonfire because we are going to be taking on another enemy that is quite strong. For those who have played Dark Souls many times, they will have an idea of what I'm going to be doing or who I'm going to visit next. And if you look at the thumbnail, you will have an idea. So he has a ring that I would like to get, which will help with my heavy rolling, because I like doing my light rolls. You know, make me more flexible. And it helps with the iframes especially. Okay, so I haven't taken out the Black Knight here. As you can see, he's just coming back down after he chased me up there before. So we're just going to take him out quickly. Now he drops a really good weapon, the halberd, which is quite good. You can go through the whole game with that if you know what you're doing and know how to play with it. But again, these early weapons like that, they have an early... Oh well. See, they are not to be toyed with. Yeah. So, as I was saying before, so most of those weapons, those early Black Knight weapons, they have a high stats. So you need to invest into the necessary stats for wielding those weapons. And some of them are heavy. They weigh like 12 to 14 units. Okay, so I like to come up here quietly and get his back. Oh, and I botched it. But got the parry. So we're just gonna parry him. We'll see what we get. No, we were unlucky. So the blue Titanite chunk is for magic weapons or enchanted weapons. As you can see, I just picked up the grass crest shield. Now many people like to come and get this early, as it helps with stamina recovery. Okay, so I'm just going to chuck it on my back for now, but I will not be using it much in this playthrough anyway, because I don't really like playing with it on. It doesn't really, I don't find it make the character, you know, any different. And to be honest, the stamina recovery is very slight on this, especially if you're using like light weapons. But if you're using heavy weapons that requires more stamina to swing and so on, I could understand. And the little increase could be enough to offset, you know, your swings and so on. However, it's not significant that it will make much of a difference, as you can see. Okay, so you can get a few swings with it on. So in comparison, here we go, have a look. Right, so I'm going to take it off now and you will see that there is not much of a difference with the speed in which the stamina is recovered. It's about the same, so I don't know. It's up to you. Okay, so I have a date with the man in the tower. as the ring that I need in order to make myself a bit lighter. Okay, so the crystal golems are just to my left, and I try to avoid them. Don't need to take them on right now. Okay, so here we go. So the key that we picked up earlier at the Divine Blacksmith's workshop, that is what opens this tower here. And there he is. Oh no. There you go. Just saying it. Havel. Oh, one shot me. Okay. Round 2, Havel. Here we go. Because my weapon was two-handed, I was trying to do a parry. But I've got it now. You can see. Now he has a lot of health. A lot of HP. So it does take time. And you can imagine trying to do him with an unupgraded weapon. I have done it in the past. But it takes forever. However, with this weapon, it should be a bit quicker. Yeah. It's not too difficult at this stage. Once you know what you're doing, just make sure and stay out of the way of that. Now, sometimes that dragon tooth can have a wonky hitbox, so be careful. Because you might think you roll far enough, and you just, you get smashed. So that's the ring that we wanted. Havel rings helps increase equip loads and how much we can carry, how much more. So for those who want to read the lore, there it is. You can just pause the video and you can have a read of it. Okay. Look at that. See? That's the roll I want. Make sure I'm able to move. So as you can see, look at the equip load. And if we take it off, you can see the equip load has dropped. Okay. So it's just a little point to note. It does increase the equip load by a fair amount. So early game with heavy, if you are wielding a heavy weapon, like this weapon, the Murakumo, if you get like the Black Knight halberd and things like that, you will need this ring if you want to still fast roll. Okay. There's the dark green ring. Didn't put it on to show last episode, so that is what it does. Which slightly increases the your roll changes, that's all it does. It adds a little touch, a little bit of iframes to your rolls, that's it. So it can be quite useful for those who like it. The only thing is you have to be under 25% equip load in order for it to be activated properly, and for it to do the rolls, those flips, those back flips, you have to be 25% and under. Anything over and it is useless to you. So there's the law. If you can read it, pause the screen and read it. Okay. So that's the dark green. Okay, let's put back on our Wanderer set. There we go. Right, so back up to the top now. Back into the Undead Parish we go.
Well, hello again. You seem to need anything forged?
Not really, Andre. But at this point, I'm gonna get the weaponsmith box. keep saying in the previous episodes, I keep saying armor smith box, but it's actually the weapon smith box. So that is quite useful because now we don't need to come to Andre every time to reinforce. So we can reinforce any weapon at a bonfire to +5 before we need the ascension. Okay, so it saves a whole lot of time running back and forth to Andre. You can do, now we can upgrade our weapons at the bonfires. The only thing now at this point we need Andre for is ascension, which when you get the embers and large embers you give to Andre, then you ascend it to +6, and then beyond that you can then continue reinforcing it at the bonfire until +10, which is when the next change or the next ember is needed. So yeah, it's quite useful. If you have the souls, you can get it early. I mean, it costs what, 2,000 souls, so early game is advisable for new players, you know, to make your game a bit more efficient. Well, for you, if you want to make your runs a bit more efficient, you get those weapon smith box, and the repair box is something I would say, and you get the bottomless box from the undead merchant. Those are quite handy to get early on. So right, so what I'm going to do next, I am going to be going down to the catacombs because I want to get the rite of kindling early, and I want to just get Pinwheel out of the way. Now, mind you, I am quite happy to go through I can go through the whole game with 10 Estuses if I need to, but I want to do a bit of farming in Blighttown, and I like having my Estuses at 20 so that I can heal the poison and I don't have to keep running back to the bonfire. Okay, so how I like to take on this part of the catacombs early, I do it in 2 stages. So this first run, I like going and getting the door open so that we can run straight through on our second run, and it will become my part. So that's where this Y-hander is for those who want it. You can kill those skeletons. But at this stage, at this early stage, if you don't want to fight them, you just have to run through or just prepare to die. Now these skeletons, because the necromancer has not died, they will respawn. So if you kill them and you see there is no souls pop up, then it means the necromancer is alive. So if the necromancer is dead, here's the necromancer. If the necromancer is dead, you will see you get souls every time you kill the skeletons. But if you see you don't get any souls, then you know the necromancer is still alive. So they do fire attacks as well. So we take him out. It means now, for this first part, most of those skeletons will not respawn. Okay. So with that done, first the door is open now. That's why we push that lever. So now, as you can see, I'm going to reverse humanity. There we go. Humanity restored. Just repair. Okay. Right, nothing else need doing. So now this is the second run now, back through. So with that door open now, we don't have to faff about with things in there. We can just move straight along. Okay. So as you can see, I'm not going to waste time fighting these enemies. I just run through. Too many times I've seen people in the plane and they stop to fight and fight. I find, oh, that's tough to watch sometimes. Don't get me wrong, it's whoever want to play, whoever is playing their game, that's how they play. But for me, if I fought enemies in one area before and I know where they are, Second time, I'm just going to run through. So those are the floating heads. Take them. They explode there, so don't let them get close to you. So as you can see, I got the souls off of that one. Because the necromancer is dead now, that's this area we'll get the souls for the skeletons when we kill them. So you can see, look, the door is open now, straight through. So I don't have to go back down there. Now you notice I did not rest at the bonfire, and that will become apparent. Why? Because the last thing you want to be doing is fighting your way through. So there's the other necromancer who keeps firing those fire orbs at us. So we just run through these, thank you. So now we stop here. Now if you angle the camera just right, you can see below is that ledge, and that's the ledge we're going to be jumping off onto, I should say. Not off of, but onto. Yeah, just watch him go. And I like to make sure it's clear before I go down, because I don't want them jumping on top of my head when I get down there. Okay, so there's some floating heads down there. And I do a quick roll while they jump. So here we have our first NPC, Paladin Leroy, which I like to summon because he can be a useful distraction, especially with the bone wheel skeletons. That's what I use him for. I don't need him for the fight, but I like to use him. Now be aware that if you summon anyone into your world, especially if you're going to fight a boss, it adds more HP to the boss. Okay, so the boss is a bit stronger, so just be aware of that. So you want to make sure that your summons stay alive during the fight. Because when he dies, then it means you have to take on that boss with increased HP. Okay, so as you can see, I'm not really concerned with him. Now, sometimes he can die out there. And sometimes what happens, he comes in and then he keeps at the fog gate fighting the bone wheel skeletons. But I guess this time he's keen to get the fight on. So here is the hardest boss of the game. Kills everyone. So this is Pinwheel. So he has the three masks: Mask of the Father, Mask of the Mother, and Mask of the Child. See, look at that. Murakumo makes light work of him, so I don't really need Paladin Leroy, but he's doing his thing and I let him get on with it. At this point, Paladin Leroy looks to be a bit lost. So there we go. And that is it. Pinwheel is done for. Okay, so this gives us the right of kindling, which now we can increase. We can kindle our bonfires to acquire more estases. Okay, so there you go. Right of kindling, homeward bone, and a humanity. Oh, so let's see, what mask do we get? What mask do we get? Oh, this is interesting. Mask of the Child, yeah. So I like the Mask of the Child, to be honest. I don't really bother much with the Mask of the Mother and the Mask of the Father, but the Mask of the Child increases us. It's the same as the Grass Crest Shield. It increases your stamina recovery slightly. But it's easier. I like the Mask of the Child because it's easier to wear it, and it saves my weapon slots. So it doesn't take up a weapon slot. You can wear it on your face, but it is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't. And you can read it. So not a bad pinwheel fight. Okay, so with that done, I don't need to proceed any further. So now you can see, and this is the reason why I did not rest at the bonfire. at the beginning. So with the homeward bone, it will take me straight back to Firelink Shrine. So yeah. So just repair the Murakumo. And we're going to kindle this bonfire. So bonfire kindles in batches of 5. So to start with, most bonfires, apart from Firelink has 10 when you first get here. But you can add an additional 10 to it. So it does it in groups of 5. So for every time you kindle it, you'll get 5 extra. And the max is 20. Okay. So other bonfires start at 5. So you can do the math. 3 humanities gives you 15 plus your 5, that's your 20. There we go. So now that's done. Okay. Right, so one thing I wanted to mention before going down to Blighttown. In the previous episodes, I was talking about the Murakumo. Now at some point I want to get a fire Murakumo, so I'm going to be going for a second Murakumo. Okay, that one's going to be fire. Now, you can get a Murakumo from this graveyard. It is only dropped by the large skeletons. Okay, however, I must warn you that the farm can be really long. Even if you have the gold serpent ring, it doesn't drop as readily. Okay, so he's in his parry stance. I'm not going to attack him because I don't want to get parried. Just wait for him to come out of that. They're so quick with that move. I'm just going to back off and heal and wait for him. Okay, now he's ready. So as you can see, a block there, just take off minimal health. Right, so moving on. Right, so these guys here, this big guy here, if you farm him, he has a chance of dropping the Murakumo. Okay, so further down is the other big guy, but he have more skeletons around him. So if you want, and you don't want to do the forest run, you can try. You need, a few bits of humanity on you to increase your item discovery. But yeah, it's up to you. Okay. Yeah, sometimes they can be a pain, but at this point it doesn't make much of a difference to me because my weapon is upgraded for this first part. There's just these soul items. It's quite handy to pick up these soul items because later on, as you start increasing your levels, level ups become more and more expensive. And sometimes if you die and you can't get back to your souls, it's quite handy to have a few of them if you need to do something. You can pop a few. Okay. So now we are going to proceed down to Blighttown. So there's 2 ways into Blighttown. You can go the way that I'm going now, which is the back way, or you can go through the depths, but we're not going to go through the depths. Okay. So I'm going to go the back way through into Blighttown. Need some elevator music on these elevators. Okay, so for a quick tip, yeah, always send the elevator back up. So in case you die, then you don't have to stand at the top waiting for the elevator to come back up. Okay. Just gonna go through here quickly. This is the way you get to Blighttown, using the back entrance. Okay, doesn't make much of a difference to me. So be wary of these enemies in here. At this stage of the game, early game, they hit very hard, especially for new players who venturing in here for the first time. So if you're coming through from the other end, if you have been through the depths and you work your way all the way down, at this point these might be a bit easier for you because you are aware of them. My way is just run around them. Oh no, oh no. Oh come on, I thought I had that one in the bag, man. Oh well, you live, you learn. And this is what I like about Dark Souls. No matter how experienced you are, there's always something to kill you. You know, some people will argue, oh, well, you're a bit overpowered and things like that. I just always say you can never be too overpowered in Dark Souls. Maybe for PvP. But the thing with Dark Souls is it can be so unpredictable. No matter how high level, you could be level, 720, 900, whatever level you are, you can still die. Oh no, roll. Oh dear. Oh well. There goes my souls and my humanity. But it's no big deal. Once you know what to do, you can get that back. So it's not a big deal for me. Let's go again. Okay. Yeah, these things happen. Okay. Yeah, send the lift back up. There we go. He's aggroed now, he's gonna chase me. Now they can't chase you all the way up here, but they stop at the bridge at this little crossing. For some reason they don't. Although I've had one before, he chased me all the way across, but right, so let's try this again. So just move quietly, that way you don't aggro them, because they aggro, some of them aggro early by sound. Okay. So at this point I'm just running through. Okay, now these can drop their club, which I think is the large club, and it's the only one of the two clubs that you can get poison on it. Okay, so the great club, which is further down in Blighttown, the great club, it cannot get it poisoned. Okay, but these drop the large club, yeah, that has poison on it. So as you can see, at this stage I'm not going to fight my way through. Just going to get down, drop, roll, and move on. Okay, because at this point I just want to get to the bottom to do what I have to do. So the reason I'm coming down here is so that I can go and farm the leeches for large titanite shards, and I want to get some green titanite shards as well, because as I said, I want to get a second Murakumo, which I'm going to be making fire, and it will become apparent for later on. Now I'm not going to use the fire Murakumo on Quayla because she is immune to fire, so there's no point. It's just going to be useless. So I'll use this one that I'm wielding now. This is going to be used for Quelaag, but I'm not doing Quelaag's fight just yet. Okay, so here's the bonfire. So really, if you play your cards right, you can have a plus 15 weapon before you even take on the gargoyles or Quelaag, which then makes the fight a cakewalk. Okay. Oh, there's that glitch with the foot. That has always been in Dark Souls. Even in the remastered, they didn't bother to take it out. Okay. Right, so now I need some humanity. I want to get rid of an NPC, which you will see shortly. But I need the humanity so that it help increases my item discovery and my drop rates. Okay, now I don't have a whole lot of humanity, so I just have to use what I have for the moment. But hopefully that will be enough for me to get the Titanite drop. Okay, the large Titanites. Okay, so we're going to kindle this a bit. Yep. Now, although this area is a poison area, however, poison itself ticks very slowly. So most times, a lot of players and new players are not aware of it, that they don't need to panic when they get down here, because the poison moves very slowly, and most of the time you can out heal it. If you have enough estases, you can out heal it. So this is why I need my 20 estases, because I don't want, with the 5 estes, it means I have to run back, cut short my farming. But with the 20, it means I can go on for longer, and I can get back to the bonfire, doing the whole circuit. So here we go. Here is Manita Mildred. So I like fighting her, bringing her in. Don't fight her out there, because the mosquitoes or flies, whatever you want to call them, your lock-on goes all weird out there, and it can focus on them instead of focusing on her when you try to lock on. Okay, so first parry. I like to pull her in here because those flies will come all the way up, but they would not get in here. Okay, there we go, and she's done with. So you get some humanity from her, you get her weapon, and so forth. Now she has a good weapon. If you want to do an early strength build, if you don't want to use the Zweihander, because it takes a lot, but you can use the butcher's knife. And the good thing with the butcher's knife is there is an added bonus on that weapon that is not indicated on its card. And that is, you can get a little HP recovery when you kill an enemy. Okay? But it does not state it on the description itself. So some people may not be aware of it. Okay, so that's the butcher's knife. Good out. Good strength weapon overall. Scaling is not too bad on this weapon. Okay, so for those who want to use it, and if you're doing whatever type, if you're doing an early strength build and you want to get a half decent weapon, you can do the run. You know, with less souls. If you don't have much souls, don't worry about it. Do a sort of suicide run and just come and get it done. You pick up that weapon and that's it. So as you can see, there's the flies hovering. They make me laugh. Yeah, they hover over close to the bonfire. Now, sometimes enemies being close to the bonfire can stop the bonfire. Stop you, well, it can stop you activating the bonfire, I would say. Okay, so just be aware of that. So sometimes you'll see you get near, and if there's an enemy nearby, the bonfire seems like it has died out. Okay. There we go. Okay, so the first leech is just across here. Take him out because these is the ones we'll be farming to get the large titanite. He hasn't dropped anything. So across here, while we're here, we'll pick up the pyromancer set and a pyromancy as well. There we go. So we got poison mist, which is quite good. I have used this in, I remember back in the day when I used to do low level PvPing. Because most new players wasn't aware of the poison status effect, you would invade an undead parish and you would poison them out and watch them run around. They can't do anything. They're trying to out heal it and they couldn't, all of them, because by that point some of them didn't have much estasis. So it's quite fun. So yeah, so these leeches, there are 23 in this area, and it's a little circuit I like doing to farm for my large titanite. Now you can get large titanite from two merchants. You can get it from the merchant in Sen's Fortress, or you can get it from the giant blacksmith in Analondo. But at this point I want to get my large titanite early so I can upgrade my weapon early. Okay. So these can drop large titanite as well as green titanite. There we go. So I got one. Okay, so the green titanite drops in groups of 5, whereas large titanite you can only get one at a time. So I need, I think, 9. Once I get the ember, then I can then further upgrade, take my Murukuma up to +6 all the way up to +10. Okay, so yeah, just take your time, take these out. Look at that, with the Murukuma as it is now, one hit takes them out, which is good. There we go. Okay, so this item is a large titanite. Yeah, that will come in handy for upgrades. Yeah, so they can overwhelm you sometimes if you're not careful. That is why I'm trying to pull one at a time rather than get all of them on me, because, you know, especially with that jump in attack, that takes some damage off of you. Yeah, so that's what we do. We just keep pushing through, take them out. So I'm just showing you this route, you know, to show you this is what I do to do my early farming. Now I'm not going to show all of the farming. The rest I'll do off screen, but I'm just showing this just to show you how simple it is if you want to get upgrades early, that you don't have to go and spend a whole lot. Because I think in Sen's Fortress, that merchant at the top, he sells them for about 4,800 souls, whereas the giant in Analondo, there we go, large titanite, whereas the giant blacksmith, he sells them for 3,800 souls, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure, don't quote me on that, but I think it's about that. Okay, so this weapon here is a curved weapon. it is called a server. Now with this one as well, this has an HP steal effect on it. You can get HP back with, I think it's consecutive hits with the weapon. But it's not a brilliant weapon. But I've done a playthrough using this weapon before, and it was all right. It wasn't the, wouldn't say the best, but it is still usable. As I said before, a weapon is only good in the hands of a good user. Okay, so, but yeah, I've done many playthroughs over the years. Use weapons sometimes I like doing a playthrough using a weapon that I've never used before. See how we get on with it. That's just I get fun from doing it like that. Challenge myself. I've done a soul level 1 run. I've done magic runs. I've done all sorts. I have characters that are max level. It doesn't make much of a difference. As I say, you can still die. So up here this is the path to Ash Lake, but that is a story for another chapter. We're not going there today. For now, I'm just showing you how I farm for my large titanite shards and my green titanite shards. Okay, so this is the last 2 leeches. So as you can see, at this point I'm not concerned much with the poison. There you go. Green titanite shards. So as so the poison at this stage, look, I've done my run. So I'm heading back to the bonfire now. All I did is just do is top it off because that's about it. Okay, so alright, so let's look at the pyromancy set. As you can see on the left hand side, it's all mostly reds because it's less. However, on the right side it's mostly blues. So the blue is the increase, and it increases in, look, it's poison resistance. It's quite good for poison. It's much lighter. So sometimes when you want to compare weapon and armor, you look to see, if it's going to be a better upgrade to what you already have, then you will see certain areas are blue. If you see it's red, it means it's less. It's not much of a difference. Okay. If it's white, then it's the same. Okay. So yeah. It's not difficult to understand and read these things. It's quite straightforward. You just have to read the information that's on there and understand what bits of information means what. Okay. So I'm heading back now to the bonfire, as you can see. So it's quite a straightforward, simple run. There we are back at the bonfire now. Okay. Just going to repair it. Now, so if I had the ember already, and I had ascended this weapon to +6, then I could have just sat here and upgraded my weapon further. But I don't have that yet, so I'll have to wait to get that. Okay, so we just repair everything. Okay. What I'm going to do next, just think, did I get everything? So, just level up. Let's see what we're leveling up. Okay, so I'll put some in dexterity, 1 point in dexterity. You can get 2 points in there now. So I'll just put 1 for now. And I will put the other 1 in HP. There we go. Yep. I think that should be it for now. Okay. Yeah. So we'll do that. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. Right, so this video has gone on for some time. I think what I'll do is cut it here for now. I will continue farming my large titanite shards and get my green titanite shards because they are quite useful for upgrading fire weapons and divine weapons. That's what the green titanite shards are for. Okay, so we get a few to upgrade the fire Murakumo and fire. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna stop the video here for now and I'll continue farming. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, and if you want to go a step further, subscribe.